This week's Parsha talks about the famous story of the Mabul, how Hashem wants to flood the world to cleanse it from the bad things that happened beforehand. We know Hashem tells Noach to build a teva, and following that, the Mabul comes, and then the Mabul goes, the earth is dry, and we see that Hashem tells Noach, say mina teva, go out of the teva, go back into the world with your wife and your animals and everything with you. Asks the Rebbe right out of the gate, if the world was completely dry and ready to go, why did Noach need to be told to go out? Why did Noach need to be told to leave the teva? That should have been self-understood, not needing for Hashem to command him to go out. And furthermore, why is there a separate commandment, go out with your wife and all the animals? By saying go out, that means everybody leave. When every word in the Torah is exact, you can't just look over these details. If Noach could have went out by himself, why didn't he? And why do the animals need a separate commandment? Why does the Torah tell us any of this? Many people like to explain it's because Noach was a God-fearing Jew. I'm only going to leave if God tells me to leave. Asks the Rebbe that's not sufficient, because if that was really the simple answer, which in that case we would have no question, Rashi, whose job is to enlighten us and to explain us the simple meaning of the pasuk, does not mention this. This seems something right up Rashi's alley, but Rashi does not mention this. And in general, it doesn't seem that when Hashem initially commanded Noach to go in the teva, it was just because Noach needed to be commanded. It seemed like it was more persuasive, that you had to convince Noach to go into the teva. That being said, it shouldn't have been too complicated to leave. So what's going on here with Noach? Explains the Rebbe that what happened is that the teva had some sort of a Gan Eden Mashiach energy in it. It was otherworldly. It felt like Mashiach. And the Rebbe talks about how it's not a mystical concept. It was a simply understood feeling. How do we know that? For starters, while the teva had space for every animal, it was not a lot of space. So how is it possible that none of the animals got into a fight for a full year in a claustrophobic boat floating on the water? And even if you tell me that somehow worked out, who was there to man it? Noach and his 3 sons? 4 people for basically one type of every animal on the planet? You come to a logical conclusion that there's something otherworldly in the teva. And Rashi actually does mention it early in the Parsha, where he talks about how all the animals who went in were the choicest of all animals. They weren't corrupted. They didn't harm each other. And the only way that would happen is if it literally felt like Mashiach in there, where everyone just got along. And therefore, yes, Noach was reluctant to leave the teva, because the teva was such a nice environment. It was an environment that felt like Mashiach, physically and spiritually. The animals got along. He was able to have all the heavenly levels of Hashem for a full year. And even the animals felt that, because the animals got along. The animals didn't want to go out and start being predators again. They didn't want to hurt people at the time. And therefore, Noach needed a special command from Hashem, go out of the teva. Not just you, all the animals. Everyone has to leave, because the time for Mashiach is not now. Right now, your job is to go repopulate the world and make the world a fitting place for Hashem. Because Mashiach is going to be much greater, bigger, and better when the whole world has it than when your boat floating on the water does. And the lesson for us is so clear, because right now we are so close to getting and securing that Mashiach for the entire world. We just have to keep doing that one mitzvah, that one action, that 1 minute of learning Torah. Not staying to ourselves, but doing like what Hashem commanded Noach, to go into the world, fix it, elevate it, ultimately bringing Mashiach, not just for the teva, but for the entire world. Wishing you a good Shabbos.